Hi friends, so let's talk about the markets. Firstly, what are the levels to watch out for Nifty and Bank Nifty? Nothing has changed. If you watched me yesterday, again the levels are going to be same. For Nifty, 9840 as a support, 9840, and as a resistance, 9950, where we actually would be approaching very soon in the opening. And then if you cross 10,000, then 10,080. That's actually the resistance and the support for the Nifty. Broadly, just from the Nifty, the FIs they have been reducing their net long positions. Is it actually reason to be something to panic or reason to be afraid? No. August also we saw the same thing. They started the series with higher net long positions and they started actually reducing the net long positions. Along with reducing the future positions, they also basically are piling up short put positions. Usually, short put positions is opposite to what you're doing in terms of the selling the index future. So primarily they're positioning themselves for a range bound market, and in case if the market breaks the range, then there are short puts for that. So which also tells me that 9700 to 10,000 is the range broadly traders are working with. 300 point range, no change at all. You're working with it, and with 9 and 5 and 10,000, you normally actually are seeing selling over the last few sessions. Now, why I'm not that gung-ho about the index or the index stocks per se, because as throughout the video you're going to see that I'm not going to talk much about the index stocks, because primarily there is no major action, there is no major participation, there is no major breakout or major volume activity in the sector leader. So if there is no major participation from the sector leaders, it's highly unlikely how the index is going to break 10,000 then. Now, to me, some 2 3 stocks are looking really interesting. One is HDFC Bank. The ADR did really well. ADR was up more than 2%. Just watch out for HDFC Twins. And then the secondly would be Reliance Industries. Stock would trade ex bonus. Then again, stock was having some tailwinds in terms of high GRMs, high chemical margins. Did some acquisition, Camrock Industries acquisition. It's a good acquisition in the defense space and also in the composite and carbon fiber space overall basically. But then the question comes is, if a lot of investors or traders they actually piled up ahead of the bonus on RIL shares for the tax adjustment, and then perhaps they would be booking profits over the next 2 3 days. So I think that sort of phenomena you have to be careful about, but fundamental tailwinds are in favor of Reliance Industries. So just for the next 2 3 4 days, watch for the stock, the way stock is telling you. If there is some sort of profit booking, then just remember that it's all coming because some sort of shares were also being piled ahead of the bonus. It's nothing to be actually worried about. So as an investor, you should not be worried. Then we talked about HDFC, we talked about Reliance Industries. Now we move to Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty support is 23,800, 23,800, and then the resistance is 24,500. That's the trading range the index is trading so far over the last few sessions. Range is not getting broken. So basically, if you are smart enough, you actually are playing very smartly in the range. Now the question is the range actually getting broken in a hurry? No, because PSU banks are not doing anything. There is no reason they should be doing well, and private banks in particular, you're not seeing any major participation. I liked IndusInd Bank because 2 3 days before there was some sort of accumulation which was being seen, and also some early signs of the bank actually starting to pick up. And then HDFC, if they are looking good, then perhaps some sort of positive activity you can expect in the Bank Nifty today. So if you want to have some sort of bias, have a mild positive bias in Bank Nifty for today. Then actually we move to the next one, which is where was the buying scene actually. A lot of buying basically is happening in outside of the index stocks. Mid caps are doing really good. Broader market breadth, I don't have any issue. Yesterday, if I just look in terms of derivative space, the market breadth was slightly in favor of shorts. Roughly around 60% of the positions were actually having negative bias, but I'm more concerned about the 40% because that's where actually the real opportunity was. And I was not surprised that only those 30 40% were doing good, because I have been telling you over the last few sessions that it's more about selection in the mid caps, more about stock specific, more about the niche areas where actually really trading activity is happening, because the broader market is consolidating, and because it's consolidating, the activity is lackluster there. So now let's talk about some stocks here which are looking really interesting. Pick up the first stock, Tata Global. Tata Global, subsidiary Tata Coffee. Both actually are looking really interesting. They have been rallying, then they consolidated, and again they started rallying again, are looking very good. Then you talk about Muthoot Finance, and I'm not talking about Manappuram Finance. Muthoot is looking much better than Manappuram, and Muthoot also basically saw much more strong, aggressive accumulation by good strong hands. So just watch out for Muthoot Finance. Some of the NBFCs like Bajaj Finance, Edelweiss, Capital First, they all basically are looking very good. Good sort of accumulation, good sort of tailwinds coming from them. The stocks actually are doing really good in terms of pickup in credit growth. Also the markets are doing good. So in particular, Edelweiss is also doing really good. The textile stocks, Bombay Dyeing, how can we forget that? The stock basically has doubled over the last few sessions, and I've been talking about it. I think the first time we talked about it was 90 rupees. The stock is doing really good. September is usually a good period for them, but then also there is a restructuring going on there. So that stock again continues to look good. Mahanagar Gas from the gas pack is looking really good. Good sort of accumulation. Expectation of the stock basically winning a new territory. So watch out for that. It was picked up really well. So that stock is very interesting. From the housing finance, Indiabulls Housing has shown early signs. I think perhaps the morning is going to stamp on the stock's move today. So just watch out for that stock, looking very interesting. Future consumer, we know that retail stocks have been doing really well. Future consumer perhaps is the next one, also which has been doing good, and also is really looking good because promoter also actually is buying the stock. So if the owners also are actually really bullish, perhaps you can look at the stock with a great degree of interest. So these are some of the stocks. There are a host of other stocks. So if I remember, yesterday we talked about Concor and Sundaram Fasteners, and they continue to look good. Good sort of activity, good sort of accumulation in those counters. So perhaps you can still actually look at them if you're holding. Then again, you should be very happy about them. Motherson Sumi also, if you're holding it or you were an investor in the stock, perhaps again you should actually continue to remain quite happy about it. So broadly, if I say auto ancillary space has picked up steam, that actually is looking really good, and I'm actually quite hopeful about the textile also, and some sort of activity happened in the Prism Cement also. I've just not picked up the stock name because it's really a laggard. But if you hold Prism Cement and actually Orient Cement, Prism Cement, some sort of small cap, mid cap cement names, those actually are doing good because the large caps they have done really well. And logistics again, the Aegis Logistics, logistics stocks they actually are doing quite good over the last few sessions. A lot of names I picked up, but in particular I highlighted some key names which I think are looking quite stable. You should just remember those names and just deploy your strategy, whatever you want to do. I'm just highlighting the names to you. Overall, if I just summarize, it's looking a good day. It's looking a stable day. There's no reason to panic. Look at the broader market. Look at the mid caps. There is no need to look at benchmark indices. It's quite lackluster, quite boring. So I think that's a word coming from me. And if there's any sort of question, query you want to ask, keep me posted. I'd be happy to answer it. So have a good profitable day, and I'll see you later. Take care.